In recent days, Nirmala has spoken on the topic of the 8 meannesses of the heart that Sri Yukteswar writes about in his book, The Holy Science. And it's a marvelous study, and I recommend those videos. And one of the recent ones is on grief. Actually, two of the recent ones. There's a second part on grief, and it prodded a memory of something, a line from one of Swami Kriyananda's songs, and I'd like to quote the line and the context of it, and then make a 1-minute challenge for you out of this, for all of us out of this. The line comes from a song called The Non-Blues, and it's quite a fun song, and there's a lot of sort of cute humor, but deep meaning in it as well. Swami's guitar teacher thought his songs were too happy. They didn't feel like they were real. They didn't have any grit to them, and so Swami went home and thought, all right, well, let me write a blues. And he didn't really feel like he succeeded, and it was only one, so he called it the Non-Blues. Anyway, the line from the song is, the larger part of the line is, "It ain't that I don't know what grief is. This old heart has had its full share, but grief's one thing, and complainin' another. Why multiply grief with despair?" And if you think about that, what he's saying is that we will experience grief at some point in our lives. It's rather a universal experience. We lose people, we lose situations. As a child, we lose the favorite toy because it breaks, or we lost it somewhere. And there's going to be a certain amount of loss in life, which will almost inevitably bring a feeling of grief, at least momentarily. But here's our 1-minute challenge. The 1-minute challenge is to take 1 minute today and think, what do I complain about in life? What is it that I find annoying in life that I feel the need to say something about? Because it's one thing to be annoyed or to have loss or to feel grief, but it's another thing to complain about it. It's another thing to sort of add our little bit of disappointment or annoyance or frustration or whatever it may be to the world's lot, which is churning along and people are experiencing all kinds of things. So take 1 minute to try to identify what are those things. And then the second part of the challenge, of course, is much longer than a minute, but using that minute of insight, try to extrapolate a whole day, if you can, where you don't ever complain about anything. It's just a day of gratitude and a day of sort of acknowledging that life is going to do what it's going to do. There will be waves bringing us up and bringing us down, but our hearts don't have to be affected by that, and we don't have to add our little bit of momentum to the, if the pendulum is swinging one way, the swinging the other way, we don't have to try to push it farther. We can just relax and let it try to find its own natural center in the middle. And so try that today or soon. Try the 1-minute challenge. Identify whatever it is that you would typically say something about, have as an actual complaint, even if that complaint is on the inward side, that you bump into the chair or you can't find the keys or whatever it may be, and try to practice for a whole day just staying centered in the heart, thankful for the opportunity to be in this world and to learn and grow and experience God's joy and share God's love, and leave the complaining behind. Grief's one thing, but complainin another. Why multiply grief with despair? God bless you.